everyone, today I'm going to be filming a Q&A video. I asked on Instagram recently if you had any questions for me and I got a whole bunch of questions, so I'm going to be answering those. I'm also going to be getting ready. As you can see, I've got no makeup on at the moment, and yeah, I'm going to be getting ready and talking to you about the questions that you asked, and I just felt like I needed to get ready, I needed to do the Q&A, so I thought I'd merge the two, and I quite like getting ready and talking as well on these kind of videos, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So I am going to keep all the questions anonymous because some of them are about quite sort of sensitive subjects. On the internet, I don't want to just be like, oh, this person asked this, and it's like a really private, personal thing to them. So I am going to keep everything anonymous, and yeah, I don't think there's anything else much to say. So I'm going to get started. Start with primer. I'm using Shock Horror, the CYO Illuminating Mixing Cream. I absolutely love this, it's so good, and this is in the shade Razor Glass. I literally love it. So the first question is, why did you start YouTube? I started my YouTube channel, I think it was in 2015, and I started by doing a haul video, and at the time I loved watching YouTube. I had been practicing YouTube videos in my room for years, like I'd just film them and not ever upload them, but I just liked filming them. It sounds a bit weird, like I used to sit in my room and film videos I didn't actually upload to YouTube, but that's what I did. So yeah, so I finally just thought, actually I'm just gonna upload this to YouTube, so I edited it and uploaded it, and at the time I was so scared about uploading it. I was like, no one from school can find out about this, and I just kept it like just quite quiet. People from school did find out, and actually it wasn't that bad, but anyway. So why did I start YouTube? I guess it was just because I really enjoy watching YouTube videos. YouTube I've been watching now for quite a long time. I don't actually know the exact timeline, but I've been watching it for many years now, and I just wanted to do it myself, I suppose. There's not really any like set particular reason, I just like doing it, and I feel like I don't really have many like hobbies or like pastimes, so for me this is like my main kind of like hobby kind of thing. So moving on to foundation, I'm actually trying out a new one today. It's the Vichy Dermablend 3D Correction Foundation. Looks like this, and this is in the shade 30 Beige, and I'm going to be using my Real Technique sponge. And the next question is, what's the best way to revise and keep on top of homework? So one of the best things I did to keep on top of homework is I went online and I printed off a homework tracker, which I still use at the moment. I use it for college, and it's such a good idea because you can just put in all the information, like what class it is, what the homework is, like the date that it was set, the date it needs to be completed, and if you've done it, and it just makes things so much easier. You've just got a list of the things that you need to do, the dates that need to be done by, and you can like prioritise and just worry about the things that you need to do rather than thinking what have I done or forgetting it and stuff. So in terms of revision, I've always found revision really hard. Like I just find it really hard to commit to something. If you make a list of everything you need to know for the subject, which is what I did with my A-levels recently, I just completely made a list of everything that I need to know and just crossed it off when I had sort of covered it. So by making a list, you just know everything you need to know, you're not going over any unnecessary topics, and you can also find out what are your strengths and weaknesses as well, and what things need more revision time and what things don't need as much revision time. So also with revision, I would recommend being realistic. I remember for one set of exams that I did, I made a revision timetable, and I just did it so unrealistically that I was doing so much revision a day that it just meant that I just didn't do any of it, and then it was just like, oh, so I've done no revision now because I just set my aims too high. So I do think be realistic as well with the amount of work that you need to do. I think find out what works for you. For me, I really like doing past papers. I find they really help. A website that's really good is Get Revising as well. I use that quite a lot as well. It does GCSE and A-level and another qualification, but I can't think what that's called. I'm not too sure how I feel about this foundation. It is very heavy, like it's quite cakey in a way, like it's quite matte, and I know it is like clinging in areas and stuff, so I'm not too sure about it. I do love the normal Dermablend foundation, but this one I find is just a little bit clingy in certain areas, so I'm not sure if that's something to do with my base or the foundation itself, but yeah. Now I'm going to go on to concealer. I'm using the Joan Collins Beauty Fade to Perfect Concealer in Fair. The next question is tips on how to speak your thoughts when feeling down. And this is something that I quite struggle with. Even though I recommend to people to like speak out when they're feeling down, I don't really do it myself. So I am a bit of a hypocrite in that kind of context, but I do find it really hard to like speak to people sometimes, and it's just hard. Like I don't ever want to like bother people with my problems and things like that, but I would say definitely write down your problems is quite a good way of relieving that kind of tension or like whatever it is that you're feeling, writing it down can really help. I look so stupid right now. I think if you don't actually have anyone to talk to, I think writing your problems down might help, because it's almost like you're telling someone but you're not actually telling someone, and that could be quite helpful for some people. In the past I've like told people how I'm feeling and they haven't been very considerate about it, and so it just made me feel worse. But yeah, so obviously make sure that you tell someone that you trust and feel comfortable with, and you know, they might be able to get you some help if you need help, and if not, hopefully they can just help to support you. Sometimes maybe speaking to someone that's anonymous might help. So there's lots of charities out there that run like helplines that you can maybe go to. I know Childline does like an online chat, so even if you don't like taking phone calls, then you can just go like on a, it's almost like Facebook Messenger kind of thing, and you can still talk to them. I don't really have any like tips for talking about it, but I guess just maybe make sure that it's someone that you're definitely comfortable with speaking to, because that obviously makes it easier. Now I'm going to try out another new product that I have been sent recently. It's the Prima Glow Up Illuminator Drops in shade 1. I'm not exactly sure what the actual name of this is, but they are liquid highlighter drops basically. I do have a discount code for Prima, which I will leave on screen if you do wish to buy anything from them. They sell glitters as well, but obviously you don't have to, and you don't have to use my code. It's not affiliate, but I do get like reward points that I can put towards other products, so depending on whether you wish to use my code or not, you can, but obviously you're not being forced. So the next question is, what are your top 3 MAC lipsticks? I don't have a huge MAC lipstick collection. I have quite a few, but I don't have like loads. I love Velvet Teddy and I love Brave. In terms of other ones though, I can't really think what I've got. I really like Ruby Woo, which is a really nice red. I think I might have to go with Ruby Woo actually. I do really like that colour. So yeah, I think probably from my collection, I haven't tried like loads of MAC lipsticks, but the ones I've got, I think Velvet Teddy, Brave and Ruby Woo. Look at that glow, that is so nice. I've never tried liquid highlighter before, but that's really, really nice. I like that a lot. I'm going to move on to powder. I'm using the No7 Perfect Light Loose Powder in Translucent. So the next question is, where do you get your confidence from? I feel like this is such a strange question for me, and it's something I get asked like quite frequently, and for me it's just really weird because I don't actually see myself as a confident person. For a long time I've really struggled with my confidence, especially in school. I was so underconfident. I remember one year like I had my school trousers and they broke, and I really didn't want to get a new pair of school trousers because I thought everyone's gonna be like noticing them and like caring, and I just really didn't want to stand out basically. So I wore the same broken trousers for ages because I just really didn't want to stand out or be different or have something new. When I look back now at that person, I do think actually, yeah, I have come a long way in terms of confidence, but at the same time I wouldn't necessarily say I am a confident person because I'm really not. There's a lot of things that I feel really insecure about, and there's a lot of things I can't do because I feel underconfident too. I think I give the impression that I'm quite confident because of my sort of presence online, and that I put a lot online obviously, and like a lot of people would find this quite a scary thing to do, but for me I feel like online life I can handle completely fine, and I feel like in person I'm just a lot more different in person, like not in a bad way, but I'm just so underconfident that it makes me so much more like reserved and quiet. I think online I can just be myself and I've never experienced any negativity or anything, so it makes me a lot more confident online. But in person, and especially when it comes to my personal life with all my friendships and relationships and things, it does really massively impact those because I just don't feel confident at all in any of my like relationships that I have or friendships, and just doing day-to-day things, it's really hard for me to do. So for me it's just really weird to be seen as a confident person because I feel like I'm so underconfident and I like really dislike myself that it's just weird that anyone would see me otherwise. So it's really strange that I've had that, and I've had that from quite a lot of people, so I think it's quite a sort of widespread thing. I guess the way my confidence grew is that I started following people online that I could relate to and people that for me were inspiring, and I'll put some of my favourite Instagram people below in the description, and yeah, they just made me feel like actually I'm not as bad of a person that I think I am, and that no one cares really. And I feel like just doing new things also helped me gain my confidence as well, and just removing toxic things from your life I think really helps. Like, I got rid of some friendships that I wasn't happy in and toxic people, and I also got rid of toxic behaviours as well. I think it's really important to stop comparing yourself to other people as well, and I still do that. It's a really hard habit to break, but obviously the whole point is like you can't be them because you're you. So just embrace yourself, love yourself, and embrace the qualities that you have got, and just try and work on those really. I feel like on social media it's really easy to get tricked into thinking that someone's online life is their whole life, and that really isn't the case. I do it myself. Like, I feel like I really want to try and keep things realistic with my online life, but at the same time I also don't want to post like every single aspect. I feel like obviously I'm not going to post online when I'm just like doing nothing or just doing really boring stuff or having like a really bad day or something. So for me, I feel like it's very important that people kind of keep it real with their pages as well. Like, even with me, I want to try and do that, but it is quite hard to not believe that that's someone's only life. So for me, if you just like looked at my social media, you'd think that I have like quite a nice life, like I do lots of things and stuff like that, but I actually don't. Like, even though that has been obviously real times in my life, that's not what I do all the time, and I do obviously have like just boring everyday life as well. So yeah, I think that's another thing to not get easily tricked into, because that's quite a bad way of thinking as well. There's not really a lot I can suggest. Maybe look online as well. I found looking online really helped me in terms of trying to find like exercises and things, and even like now if I start overthinking about things, I will practice some meditation or distract myself from that kind of negative thought. Now I'm going to go on to eyebrows, and I'm going to be using the Eylure Fleur de Force little brow palette. And the next question is high-end or drugstore. So personally, I have tried drugstore products and I have tried high-end products, and even though I like products from either side, I do feel like sometimes what is the point of spending out on products that you can kind of get alternatives for that are less of a cost? And I think certain things are worth investing in, but I don't think makeup is as much. I think if you could just get a more affordable alternative, then just save your money and spend it elsewhere. I have this with other stuff as well, not just makeup. Even with like clothes and stuff, I just think unless it's a particular thing, like why bother spending out on it? Because you can just save that money and put it towards something else. Like, I'm quite a big travel person. I'd rather like save money on buying cheaper makeup and put that money towards travelling. And I don't mean that like judgmental to anyone that buys higher makeup. I think obviously it's your own money, you do what you want with it, and it is a nice thing to have nice products that are expensive. Like I say, I have my own high-end products, I'm not like against it at all, but I think for me personally, I would just rather spend my money on drugstore products than high-end products as a whole. I know some products are worth it or new or whatever, but as a whole I think I would just rather spend my money on more affordable products. Yeah, that's, like I say, my own personal opinion. I don't judge anyone that buys high-end makeup or anything. I don't mean anything by it. That's just what I think. After looking at my foundation in more detail, it really is gone like really patchy and clingy in certain areas. If anyone has any like suggestions of what to do to minimise that, then please let me know. I don't know if it's the foundation itself, or like I say, if it's just my skin, because my skin is really like funny at the minute. It's not really having a great time, so it might just be that, but I want to give it a proper go, but I don't want to be like unfair on it. But yeah, if anyone has any tips, then please let me know. Moving on to eyes, I'm going to first prime my eyelids with the Maybelline Colour Tattoo 24-hour matte in the shade Creme de Nude. Next question is, what is your favourite Lush bath bomb? And I've got to be honest, I haven't really tried anything from Lush in a while. Like, I don't really buy anything from Lush anymore, because not for any reason actually, it's just I just never really get around to it. One thing I do love from Lush, it's not a bath bomb, but it's one of their bath products, is the Comforter Bubble Bar. I really love that. That's one of my favourites. I can't really think what bath bombs from Lush that I've tried or what ones they sell anymore, so I think I'm gonna have to stick with the Comforter, which is the bubble bar, so not a bath bomb, but it's kind of a similar product. Moving on to eyeshadow, I'm going to be using my Morphe 3502 palette. I'm also going to be using the Makeup Revolution and Soph Does Nails palette, which I actually really like. This is a really good palette. To set my base in place, I'm going to be using this shade and this shade. I've lost like the little shade sheet that comes with it, so I don't actually know what the colours are called anymore, but that's the two that I'm just going to be using to set that. So the next question is, do you like Benefit? From the products that I've tried from Benefit, I haven't overly rated them. I do feel like they're a very overrated brand. I haven't tried any of their new products though, so maybe I'm just missing out on those. But the older products that I've tried, I haven't like disliked, but I haven't really like overly liked that much. But one thing I do really like from them is their clear brow gel. I don't know what that's called, but I really do like that. But apart from that, like everything else that I've tried, I haven't overly sort of loved. No tea, no shade, but I just haven't really enjoyed their products that I've tried. Rather than go into every single eyeshadow that I'm using, I'm just going to leave a list of shades from each palette in the description. So the next question isn't necessarily a question, but it's more of like a little shout out to the person that sent this in. And it says, big up Meg Clover on YouTube, biggest fan right here, all of you are noobs in the OG fan. So the person that sent this in, hopefully they are watching this. If not, I'm just going to be like shouting out for no reason. But thank you for being my #1 fan. You're the best, literally. And I haven't spoken to you in ages, so I hope you're doing well as well. But yeah, message me or something because we can have a catch up. So the next question is, do you have any experience with mental health issues? And this is quite a long question. So personally myself, for like my own personal self, I have had issues with my mental health in the past, and I suppose it still is carrying on today. The main time that I kind of realised that I was having issues was about year 9 time, and I kind of thought to myself, actually this isn't right, like this isn't normal to be feeling like this. So I remember at the time I made a blog post explaining everything, and again, like I really didn't want anyone from school to find out, but unfortunately everyone from school found out, and they were all really nice about it. But at the time I just felt so awkward because everyone from school just suddenly found out like loads of personal information about myself that I wanted to sort of share with my blog people, and I sort of just did it really as a release and almost as like an advice kind of thing, because I wasn't really sure if what I was feeling was like serious or not. I did that post, and then I didn't really mention anything to do with that then for quite a long time, until about the end of year 10, 11, and around that time I felt that I just couldn't face life anymore. Like I just couldn't go to school anymore, and I completely like had a proper like full-on like mental health like breakdown kind of thing. I don't want to call it a breakdown because it wasn't like as bad as a breakdown, but I just couldn't cope with life anymore basically. And yeah, it was really horrible time. It was definitely one of the most horrible times I've had in my life. In year 11, because it got to the point where I just couldn't face going to school and stuff, I then finally went to the doctors and I got diagnosed with depression and social anxiety, and then I had treatment for that. I got given antidepressants, I had sertraline, and because I had some side effects for that I got put on fluoxetine, and I went through with some of that, and then I did get offered CBT as well. But unfortunately at the time I really didn't want the treatment. I took the antidepressants on and off, and I refused the CBT, and I wish I could go back now and take the CBT and the antidepressants and see the effects that they might have had, but it's obviously too late now, and I just, at the time I just didn't want anything to do with it. I just felt like I just wanted to be left alone. Didn't ever actually get properly treated for it, which is my own fault, and I know that was quite a stupid thing to do, but that's just how I felt at the time. So in theory my problems are still unresolved, like I haven't been treated for them, and it is something I do want to look into. I think once I save up the money to, I'm going to go through with paid for therapy, because I feel like that's a lot more in depth, and I just don't want to put like extra strain on the NHS as well, especially if I've already used their services before. I just want to put myself through therapy as an adult and go through that process. In terms of now, I definitely do still suffer with anxiety and depression, and it comes in kind of episodes. It's not like a constant thing anymore, and it's not as bad as it used to be, but it is definitely still there. Yeah, that was my personal experience with that kind of stuff. So yeah, so now I'm going to be using a new product of mine. This is the collection Glam Crystals liquid eyeshadow in the shade Divine. So while I'm waiting for all that to dry, I'm going to do my bronzer, contour and blusher. So I'm going to be using the Milani Baked Bronzer in Glow, and then for contour I'm going to be using the Sleek contour kit in light, and I'm just using the contour shade from this. And I'm going to be using the Milani Baked Powder Blush in Dolce Pink. The next question is, what is your dream holiday? And I don't really have like a particular destination that is like my ideal dream holiday. There's lots of places like around the world that I'd really like to go to. I really want to go all around Europe and to like Amsterdam. I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Germany, Brussels, all around Italy, all around Spain, all around France. I really want to go to Budapest. I really want to go to Greece as well. I really want to go to New York, and there's not really many places in America that I really want to go, but New York is definitely one of them. I'd love to go to Thailand. Some of the places there look really, really lovely. I'd like to go to Bali, even though Bali is massively trendy at the moment. Bora Bora looks lovely as well. Yeah, there's like not really anywhere that I like wouldn't really want to go, but there's just so many places that I'd love to go that it's all just a big jumble really. Haven't really been abroad much. I have been to Cuba when I was like really young. I think I was about 8 or 9 at the time. And I also have been to Mallorca twice in the past 2 or so years, and I went to Venice as well in Italy, and I'm also going to Barbados at the end of the summer, so I am getting there in terms of exploring places. Travelling is something that I really, really want to do, and I'd love to take like a few months out and just go travelling for a while. I think that'd be really, really nice. Next question is, what is your favourite season? And I've never really thought about this question before, but I guess I love summer, but I feel like I feel like there's highlights of every season. I do love summer, but summer is quite annoying as well, like at the moment, because it's been so hot. Like doing your day-to-day life in summer just isn't really on, like it's so hard, and everyone is like hot and just humid, and it's just not great. I feel like autumn is really nice as well, when it starts getting like a little bit cold. It's not like the really cold feeling of winter, but it's that little bit cooler feeling, and like when the trees are all orange, and like it sounds so typical. And I do really like spring as well, like when everything starts getting a bit more cheery and the flowers are coming through and everything's a bit more bright and colourful. I feel like in the UK we don't really have like a proper winter, so for me winter's just like really cold and rainy and dark, and I don't like that very much, but everything else I do really like. So I'm using the No7 Lash Extender mascara, and I really like this actually. It's a really nice mascara. So now I'm going to move on to highlighter, and I'm going to be using 2 highlighters. I'm going to be using the MUA Prism Loose Powder Highlighter and the e.l.f. Baked Blush in Blush Gems. I'm going to use the MUA one first, and I really, really like this. This is really nice. It's almost got like a duochrome feel to it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like got a pink glow to it. Because it's a loose powder, it's so like fine, and it just makes your skin look amazing. So the next question is, what is your favourite foundation? And I don't actually know. I don't really have like a particular favourite. I really like the Vichy Normal Dermablend. I really like that one. I also really like the Bourjois Healthy Mix one. I do think that my favourite one that I've tried in recent times is the Vichy Dermablend. I really, really like that. So now I'm going to move on to lip products, and I have some new products from Sleek to try out. So I've got one of their Locked Up Super Precise Lip Liners in the shade Just Because, which is like a nude colour, so I'm going to try this. So onto lipstick, I'm going to be using the INC.redible Cosmetics Matte My Liquid Lip Paint in the shade Hustle Hard Girl. And yeah, the question is, what is your favourite drugstore makeup product? And I couldn't really talk while I was doing my lip liner, or this really, but I will try and make it work. So I don't really have a favourite drugstore makeup product, to be honest. The brands that I love though from the drugstore are Makeup Revolution. They do some really, really good stuff. Also I think Max Factor is quite underrated in a way. Some of their products are really nice. I love their mascaras and their foundation. I think Sleek's quite a good brand as well. I'm not just saying it because I just use that, but I do think their products are also, like, a lot of their products are very underrated. I know like the highlighting palettes got famous and stuff, but a lot of it is quite underrated. I really like Bourjois as well. I feel like they're a really good brand for what they do. So I'm just going to wait for this to dry down, and then I've got the Sleek Lip Shot with Gloss Impact put over the top. This is in the shade Brutal Honesty. I'm really liking the look of glossy lips at the minute. I find that they just look quite summery. They're quite easy to maintain as well. and I don't know, I just like the look of glossy lips at the moment. So that is the final look, and those are all the questions as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you'd like me to do more Q&A videos in the future, then please let me know, because I really enjoyed doing this video. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon.